Welcome to our show. You're listening to Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections, a place to learn about and celebrate creative arts therapy. Each week, we'll explore new ways that music, art, and dance can reach, connect with, and help individuals of all stages of health and wellness. Hi, I'm Bree, Beynon, a board-certified music therapist and the managing partner for the Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute. Tune in as I interview professionals from healthcare and educational backgrounds on the impact of the creative arts. If you prefer to watch our live video stream, simply visit www.pbmti.com. Hello, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. You are listening to and watching Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections. I'm your host, Bree Beynon, board-certified music therapist and certified neurologic music therapist here locally in South Florida with the Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute. If you're just joining us for the first time, we're so glad that you are here. Thank you so much. Just to give you an idea of what you can expect to hear from this program, every week we feature an hour interview shining a light on some creative approaches to healthcare and educational issues or challenges or situations that might arise in our community, and today is no exception. So while we do oftentimes feature creative arts therapists like myself on the program, I also love discovering some other really exciting things that are going on locally and on a national level from other practitioners. So today we have something a little different. We have a certified life coach, which I think is the first time we've ever had a life coach on the air, which is really, really cool. And healing practitioner Jessica Jansen is here from In Happiness Healing and Coaching here locally in Palm Beach County. So we're going to be talking to Jessica in a little bit later on today. I'm not even going to introduce her now with all the things that she does because it's like a huge list, and I'm going to let her do that of all the incredible services that she offers. So she's going to talk to you about all of that and has a really cool giveaway. So listen for that call to action later today in the program. We're going to ask for callers to call in, and the first person is going to be able to win a free 30-minute life coaching session with Jessica, which is something you don't want to miss. So stay tuned for our interview later in the show. Before we talk to Jessica, we're going to be tuning in with one of my favorite local nonprofits that I volunteer with, the Southeast Florida chapter of the Alzheimer's Association. If you listen every week, you are well aware, because I tell you about it all the time, that the Walk to End Alzheimer's is coming up. Our local walk for City Place, West Palm Beach, is October 8th. There's other walks in Boca Raton, Hollywood, Treasure Coast, Miami. They're all, I believe, from September to November. So check the website for that, alz.org/walk, for more information on the Walk to End Alzheimer's. What we're going to be talking about today with Kate Picorni, who is the communications coordinator for our local Alzheimer's Association chapter, is this really neat new program that's starting and actually kicking off next week. We're talking about the new Young Professionals for Alzheimer's group. So it's going to be a networking group for young professionals to come together who all have a passion for working together to raise awareness and funds to end Alzheimer's. So they have their first kickoff next week. Kate's going to be talking to us about that in just a little bit, so stick around. And before that, I wanted to talk about our theme for today. Our theme is going to kind of be around this idea of life transitions. So we really do talk about this quite a bit on this show because as we're talking to healthcare professionals, oftentimes we're helping people through life transitions, whether that's in health and wellness, whether they're going through a new stage of changing where they're living. We talk a lot on this program about seniors with neurodegenerative disorders who are transitioning from needing care themselves to going to live for a different to a different place, those who are receiving care for acute needs in a hospital. And so life transitions, as big or small as they can be, is something that affects all of us. So what are some ways that music can be an assistance to us during life transitions? And you don't need to be working with a music therapist or a life coach to do some of these things, although we do recommend, obviously, if you are looking for the extra bit of support, to reach out to the professionals in your area. But what are some things you can do for yourself, listening today, for yourself or as a caregiver or as a professional, helping someone else through a life transition? How can we use music to do this? So if you remember, several months ago, we started a series talking about mindfulness. And what was said to me, because I immediately jumped into I'm a skeptic. My brain is always racing all the time. How could I possibly quiet myself to be mindful? And it was brought to my attention that as a musician, as an appreciator of live music, that is one of the most mindful experiences we can have. You literally cannot predict or set an expectation for how a live performance of a song is going to end, or how listening to a recording of a new piece of music is going to unfold. You need to be attending in the moment. You need to be mindful of how that musical piece is being created, sometimes right in front of you, how beautiful that is. So life transitions can often be very scary. They can be overwhelming. You are pushed out of your comfort zone. You are forced to adapt to situations that you were possibly not accustomed to before. So I take that as an opportunity to really look for some of these mindful practices, and music is a great way to do that. So settling in to listening to music, either preferred music that you know already is going to take you to a peaceful place and kind of just change the space you're in, normalize the environment that you're in a little bit. Personally, I'm moving this week, so I'm moving physically to a new space. And one thing that's helped me more than I even realized, even though I have a degree in understanding why this would happen, is by playing the music that I would listen to every day in my old space, and bringing that to my new place, and how that kind of normalized that for me, and took a little bit out of the fear of the unknown out of it. So it can be listening again to preferred music. You know what to expect, but going to a live musical performance, if this is something that you enjoy doing, experiencing live music, it doesn't have to be a big concert at a big amphitheater. It can go to a local piano bar or something, and really being in that moment and paying attention to that live music as it's being created in front of you, when you cannot skip to the end of that book. You can't. You have to stay in that moment. So that's one example. Now that's kind of like my recommendations, my music for life transitions junior. All right. So maybe once you've done that, you've experienced how passive music listening or going to enjoy a concert can impact your life. Using the art of songwriting can be an excellent way to process through life transitions. In fact, I challenge you to put together a list of your top 5, 10 favorite songs, and not at least have one of them on there where the artist was writing from personal experience of a life transition. Good and bad. Good and bad. So this is fodder for some of the most incredible songs we've ever had written, and they've been inspired by change, because again, as we've said before, this growth does not come from staying in our comfort zone. So even though it is a little uncomfortable at times to go through some of these transitions, some really beautiful and exciting things can come of it. So using music for listening, writing music, active music making. If you're not already a musician, don't let this scare you. We do a lot of drumming programs. You can find drumming circles, certainly locally, if you just kind of do a search. We do some through PBMTI. I know Lake Worth does drum circles on the beach, and I'm sure other places. I think Jessica might even be able to talk about some drumming programs later as well, about some things going on throughout the county. And again, I know that there are folks listening and watching outside of South Florida. I love to start programs with rhythm, because there is no right or wrong way. And, I ask everyone in my group to place their hand on their heart, and hopefully everyone in the group is nodding when I ask, what do you feel? You feel your heartbeat, right? That's your rhythm. That's your rhythm. No one taught your heart to beat like that. In fact, hearing is the first sense we ever have. It's the last sense we lose. So before we're even born, we hear our mother's heartbeat. And when we're born with our own heartbeat, our own rhythm. And nothing else influences that. It's just us. So when we're putting that into an instrument, there's no wrong way to do that. Because it's truly the purest expression of ourselves, of our rhythm. So active music making, whether it's going to find a community drum circle, whether it's picking up that guitar that's a little dusty that you got for your 21st birthday and haven't played in a while, getting back in the creative process, it's just a great way when there's so much around us that we can't control. That's kind of sometimes feels like it's spinning around us and we don't really know where to turn. Pick up an instrument. Pick up something that's truly going to be you creating something, you expressing something. It's something that you can control and really make a beautiful product in the process. So those are my tips for life transitions and how to use music to cope with that, coping with the change that's around us. We've come to that part of our show where we get to share a little sing-along for the day. Again, you're stuck with me because I'm the only one willing to be the musician in the room. Couldn't convince Jessica to join me. So we're going to do a little Bob Dylan before our commercial break today. The times, they are a-changin'. Come gather round, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown. Accept that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, so you better start swimming or sink like a stone. For the times, they are a-changin'. Come writers and critics who prophesize with your pen, and keep your eyes wide, the chance won't come again. Don't speak too soon, for the wheel's still to spin. There's no telling who it is naming, for the loser now will later to win. For the times, they are a-changin'. Come mothers and fathers throughout the land, and don't criticize what you don't understand. Your sons and your daughters beyond your command. Your old road is rapidly changing, so please get out on a new one if you can't lend a hand. For the times, they are a-changin'. For the times, they are a-changin'. We're going to cut to a quick commercial break. Stick around. When we come back, we have Kate Bacorny from the Alzheimer's Association talking about a new networking group for young professionals in our area. Don't want to miss it. Stick around.
Mom's fall was a wake-up call. We knew she needed help, but we also knew she'd never leave her home.
With jobs and kids, we can't always be there. We weren't sure who to trust to help around the house and make sure she takes her medications.
We did our research and found our answer. Bright Star Care. Their home care teams are led by registered nurses, with help available 24/7.
Thanks to Bright Star Care, Mom can stay where she wants to be, at home.
For a standard of care that raises the bar, call 844 for Bright Star.
The Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute is a professional music therapy practice serving medical, community, and educational settings throughout Southeast Florida. With our experienced team of 11 board-certified music therapists, we use music and research-based therapeutic interventions to help individuals of all ages and abilities reach their goals and increase their quality of life. For more information on our services and programs, please visit our website at pbmti.com. Engage with us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or call us at 561-747-9944. You are listening to Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections. If you'd like to join the conversation, the toll-free number is 888-565-1470. Now back to the show. Hello, thank you so much for joining us tonight. You're listening to and watching Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections. I'm your host, Bree, board-certified music therapist with the Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute. And today we're talking about life transitions. I've got a really exciting guest for the second half of our show coming up, Jessica Jansen. She is a local life coach and healing practitioner here in Palm Beach County. Going to give us an idea of her background, some of the services that she provides. But before we get to that, we do have a call-in guest first. As many of you know, if you have tuned in before, I'm very active in volunteering for the Walk to End Alzheimer's. I try to encourage, as we talk about self-care and keeping homework and balance on this show, to finding something you're really passionate about outside of your day-to-day job. And so for me, that has been planning for this walk coming up locally in October 8th for the West Palm Beach Walk. But for your own local walk date and location, check out els.org/walk. We're going to be talking about something a little different today, a brand new networking group for young professionals who are also interested in this cause. So I hopefully have Miss Kate Picorni on the line. Kate, are you with us?
Hi, Bree.
Hey, Kate, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having us on.
Absolutely, my pleasure. So you're kind of a last-minute sub in today for Jennifer, so I really appreciate that.
Yes, no problem. She's still on the road. She's almost home. But
oh, my gosh.
She's very excited to talk about her new group. So
I couldn't even believe I got her to agree to come because she's so busy, right? So I'm like, I don't know if you're in Miami or Treasure Coast. Well, actually, I'm in Orlando today, but I think I'll be back in time. I'm like, what?
Yeah, she gets around.
Yeah, she's everywhere. Well, anyways, in the meantime, I'm glad we got you, Kate. So thanks for calling in. So on Jennifer's behalf, if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit about this new exciting young professionals group and event you guys have coming up.
Yeah, sure. Jennifer started about a year ago, and she mentioned right off the bat that she wanted something that reached an audience we've never reached before, and that would be a youth audience, a 25 to 40 group of people that are passionate, but that we don't touch regularly at the Alzheimer's Association. And the reason she saw it as such a need is everyone is touched by this in some way, and it really does not affect just one age group or one gender, everything. So she wanted to change the face of Alzheimer's, and that's where Young Professionals Against Alzheimer's, the idea sprung. So I'm happy to announce that our first event will be August 24th from 6 to 8 at Rhythm and Vine Beer Garden in Fort Lauderdale. And this covers our entire area, Bree, so that covers from Fort Pierce down to the Keys. So we're really trying to meet in the central location to kick it off and then get it started and make committees and get really a group that's extremely active throughout the entire year for the walk, for everything, different aspects that we do.
Very exciting. I know there's a lot of young professionals groups that kind of form around some of the different performing arts venues and different causes in our area. So it's just, this fits in line so well with the culture we have in our area and getting that younger generation involved, because that's what it's going to take to sustain, interest and awareness going into these causes. You know, Trisha was on last week. We were talking about some of the kickoff events that that you all have coming up for the walk. And I know this is a passion of hers as well. We talked about getting that younger generation involved because, like you said, it's been so easy for so long to think of your typical, 90 and up age person and kind of say, yep, I'll deal with that when I deal with that. That's not the case. It wasn't the case then. It's certainly not the case now, especially as people are getting diagnosed younger and younger, and more generations are being affected by this. So I think this is great that you guys are working on this and getting it out to the community. How can people connect with you to either RSVP or find out a little more information, maybe if they can't make it to this event, but they'd like to be involved in the future?
They can RSVP to Jennifer at jbraisted, which is JBRAISTED @ALZ.org, or do the easier thing to hear on a radio, which is call 561-967-0047, and ask for Jennifer Braisted.
Okay,
and she can give them any information they need.
Any cost to attend these events?
No, it is completely free. We're just trying to unite the passion of the youth. I mean, we've seen the power in volunteers like yourself, Bree, throughout our territory, so we're just trying to unite that and then make it something really powerful for advocacy, for programs, and for our walks.
So as you mentioned earlier, it's a huge area that you all serve from the Treasure Coast, even north of that area all the way down to the Keys. Is this something that will be moving up and down the coast, or will it always be in Fort Lauderdale?
It will not always be in Fort Lauderdale. We wanted the kickoff to be in a central location, and then we'll have events in the north, events in the south. As this develops and gets a little bit more structured, then you'll have groups that meet in the north and in the south, but they'll all be part of that Young Professionals Against Alzheimer's in Southeast Florida.
Okay, wonderful. One more time with Jennifer's contact email and phone number if anyone has any more questions.
No problem. Her email is jbraisted, which is spelled JBRAISTED @alz.org. And her phone number is 561-967-0047.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Kate. So I had intended to ask Jennifer a little bit on an advocacy update. I know you're subbing in and you are a communications coordinator and not public policy, but would you like to touch on that at all?
Sure. There's obviously been a lot of excitement in the advocacy field. We had a record amount given to NIH funding last year, and we're trying to beat that this year, and it's looking good so far. Obviously, Jennifer could go into more detail on that, but what she has seen in the last 6 months is the fact that our advocates locally, that number keeps growing, and this group will help it grow even more.
For sure.
To go to Tallahassee, go to D.C., are making legislation pass. So you're seeing kind of results from all of the hard work of advocates across the country, and she's always looking for more advocate volunteers.
And so same contact information. I'm guessing reach out to Jennifer if, whether it's this young professionals group or advocacy or any way to get involved, she would be the contact person for that.
Yes, and people should not, if you are sitting there going, I'm interested in volunteering for advocacy, but I can't spend a lot of time on it. I can't go to Tallahassee. I can't go to D.C. There's other options. It could be from tweeting your legislator. That makes a difference. It makes a huge difference, and we've seen it. And so even if you have an hour a week, give her a call. She'll let you know what you can do to help. But there is always something, whether it's a letter to the editor written by a constituent, a tweet, a Facebook post, tagging the legislator in it. It really does make a difference.
And this transitions perfectly into what your wheelhouse would be, which is communications and social media. So I think that a lot of people, especially if you're targeting that 25 to 40 age range, are so comfortable using social media as a tool, but we also don't want to just do it and just to do it, you know what I mean, and not really have it go anywhere. So what would be, and I know I'm throwing stuff at you that we didn't talk about, so thank you for being so flexible, but what would be some tips that you might be able to give some young professionals listening today who maybe are very active on their social media, either on their personal or their business page? How could they use that tool to help us in this fight against Alzheimer's?
Well, there's multiple ways. The advocacy side of things is if you have an opinion or if you want legislation to pass that's going to help Alzheimer's, and if you go to alz.org, you'll see all kinds of legislation that the Alzheimer's Association supports. If you just want to send a tweet or a Facebook post, tag your senator, tag your legislative representatives. Even at the state level, tag them and let them know your opinion. They have to see it. Mm-hmm. Their group, their communications coordinators are seeing that. So that's influencing their actions because they have to respond. It's publicly seen. They can't ignore it. So that's one way to catch their ear that works really well, tagging them. As far as helping us, we definitely, especially during walk season, if you're going out to the walk, if you tag our Southeast Florida chapter page, which is just facebook.com/ALZFL, as in the initials for Florida, then that's helpful to help us reach more people and to get them to our page where we house all of our information. So that'll help us, as well as if you're sharing your story. If you've been touched by Alzheimer's, don't hesitate to share your story on social and use hashtag EndALZ. It's a nationally used hashtag that the Alzheimer's Association started, and it really is seen across the country, and it's trending constantly, and it just helps keep that in the feed, which is all we really want to do. Keep that on the top of people's minds.
You know, it's one of these things like in my background working in hospice care, too, there's a stigma, and people don't want to talk about it. And I think if you're going through something like caring for someone with Alzheimer's or seeing a loved one go through this, you often feel like maybe there isn't someone who wants to listen to this because it's not something people generally want to talk about. So there's so much power in what you're saying about there's a hashtag. Like there's a hashtag seen nationally where if you want to share your story, to say, hey, I'm going through this, I went through this, I want you to know you're not alone. Here's how I can get connected to everyone. There's so much power in that. It's really amazing.
That hashtag is always going, Bree. It really hits up in June, which is Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month. We see a huge trend during that month, but throughout the entire year, it's a place where people can go share pictures of their loved ones when they're having a day where they just really wish they were there for a hug, things like that. And the association may interact with you. Another caregiver may interact with you. But it's a community out there that never touches, and social media has really helped them connect.
That's incredible. Wonderful. Okay, one more time before we cut to a commercial break, Kate. One more time on the name of the restaurant or the bar where the meeting is, the time and date, and how to get in touch with Jennifer.
No problem. So our first kickoff for Young Professionals Against Alzheimer's will be Wednesday, August 24th. That's a week from today, from 6 to 8 p.m. at Rhythm and Vine Beer Garden in Fort Lauderdale. And you can RSVP to Jennifer Braisted by email at jbraisted, BRAISTED, at ALZ.org, or by calling her at 561-967-0047.
Awesome. And look for Kate putting out some really cool stuff on that Facebook page. You've been putting out challenges this week, right, Kate?
Yes, it's Teen Challenge Week for walk teams throughout our area. Every day you have a winner for each walk, and we have 5 walks, so that means there will be 5 lucky winners. And today's challenge, they're going till midnight. So today we ask you to do either a self-donation or donate to your friends group to help them reach their fundraising goals. So we got a couple more fun challenges tomorrow and Friday, and they're based off of Olympic sports, because who doesn't love watching the Rio Olympics right now?
Absolutely.
We really tie into that.
Absolutely. Very cool. Thank you guys for everything you're doing there and for being such a support here. Have a wonderful night, and for taking the time to call in, Kate. Have a great one. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you again, Bree.
You're so welcome. Take care. All right, we're going to cut to a commercial break. We come back, we're going to be talking to Jessica Jansen, local life coach and healing practitioner here in Palm Beach County. Stick around. The Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute is a professional music therapy practice serving medical, community, and educational settings throughout Southeast Florida. With our experienced team of 11 board-certified music therapists, we use music and research-based therapeutic interventions to help individuals of all ages and abilities reach their goals and increase their quality of life. For more information on our services and programs, please visit our website at pbmti.com. Engage with us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or call us at 561-747-9944.
Mom's fall was a wake-up call. We knew she needed help, but we also knew she'd never leave her home.
With jobs and kids, we can't always be there. We weren't sure who to trust to help around the house and make sure she takes her medications.
We did our research and found our answer, Bright Star Care. Their home care teams are led by registered nurses, with help available 24/7.
Thanks to Bright Star Care, Mom can stay where she wants to be, at home.
For a standard of care that raises the bar, call 844 for Bright Star.
You are listening to Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections. If you'd like to join the conversation, the toll-free number is 888-565-1470. Now back to the show.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. You're listening to and watching Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections. I'm your host, Bree Beynon, and I'm here with my guest tonight, Jessica Jansen. She is a certified life coach and a healing practitioner here locally in the Boca Raton area in Palm Beach County. Thank you so much for being here, Jessica.
Well, thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure.
Absolutely. My pleasure, totally. So I met Jessica back 4 or 5 weeks ago now, when I had made the choice to, with some encouragement from friends that have gone through the same, to do a personal development course, which was horrifying, and but an extremely rewarding experience. And there I met Jessica, who in the course of 2.5 days was a key player in some just incredible team of people who just really helped me along my path and give me a lot of wisdom that I've been able to come and share and help encourage others, including being on this show. So I could not be more excited to have you on today, Jessica. So thank you for being here. Beyond the help that you do as part of TLC, which is this course, which we'll talk a little bit about, you are doing a myriad of things in the area. So if we just kind of back up a bit, if you just want to share your background and what kind of led you to doing this work.
I've always ran businesses. That's what I did for a really long time. For about 17 years, I was actually managing healthcare and chiropractic offices. And then I got into a personal situation of depression, had a boss that just really played on my circle of belief, and I just allowed that to be able to put me into a downward spiral. I was actually Baker acted in March of 2013, and that was really my rock bottom. Through that experience, I realized how strong I was, but I also realized how much I was codependent, and I really just strived for everybody else and not myself. It was in that moment that I really realized that I was not living to my fullest potential. And I had studied the law of attraction for about 10 years and was really working on trying to figure out how that was going to work for me. I would manifest things in my life, and then all of this drama and chaos would happen. And I didn't understand what was going on. I must have listened to and saw The Secret at least 24 times, wanting to know why it wasn't working for me. And once I realized that there was something missing, my whole world changed. And what was missing was my feelings. As I really wasn't understanding that I had feelings, and my feelings weren't validated, definitely not by anyone else, but they weren't being validated by me. And once I realized that, and that's how I found TLC, it was a great way for me to find out that was that missing component for me. So really being able to go into a course room where you're one of 26 students and 100 or so assistants, it is a little bit overwhelming.
It's a lot.
It is a little bit of overwhelming aspect, but it teaches you such a way of getting to know yourself. So people ask me all the time, like, why should I do TLC? And when I talk to them or I do an enrollment for the course, is I tell them it's an opportunity for us to get to know ourselves and why you do the things you do. And then you can consciously decide whether or not you want to continue to do those things or not. Because our subconscious is formed at age 7. So we're basically running on this autopilot for our entire adult life, and we don't even know that we can choose it and do things differently. So TLC, just like you, it helped me realize so many things and the missing pieces that were in my life. And that was my feelings of understanding my feelings of anger, sadness, fear, and shame, and being able to put a name to them and a feeling and being in emotional integrity. And so that all kind of catapulted all of my friends, every business that I've ever been part of. They've always asked me for advice. They've always wanted my expert opinion on things. And so I said, you know what, instead of doing this for free, I am going to make this my business. And then everything just kind of started working for me once I made that decision and started working towards my passion of being able to help others be able to learn what I've learned. Starting out as a healing practitioner was very safe for me. I started out, in a lot of fear. And I didn't realize that until after the TLC course, that I actually lived all of my life in fear and didn't realize that. And then somebody told me that we're only born with two fears, and that's the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. So being afraid of the unknown, I learned that from somewhere. Being afraid of the stranger down the street, I learned that from somewhere. And so then I was able to understand on a logical aspect that I can choose not to be afraid of those things anymore. And so Reiki was one of the first healing modalities that I learned, which was very safe for me, very protected of me, where I can just kind of connect to that healing energy and not only heal others, but the main reason was I was able to heal myself. So any ailments and things that were going on with me, headaches, I would just start to do Reiki on myself and got phenomenal results. And then I moved into Theta Healing. So I'm a certified Reiki practitioner. I'm a certified Theta healer. I'm a certified Law of Attraction practitioner, certified Access Bars practitioner.
If you wouldn't mind,
Yeah.
just like the Reader's Digest version of each of these.
Yeah.
I know that we could be here for you could probably teach an all-day course on all of this stuff. And perhaps I will have you come back in segments to break it down. But I don't know what a lot of those things even mean. So I'm assuming most of our audience wouldn't either.
Yeah. So Reiki is just a healing technique, which basically I connect to God, source, creator, all that is, whatever name that you choose to use for that. Anything that's bigger than yourself. And my hands will heat up in an area that you may need healing. The Reiki energy is really awesome. It's kind of smart energy, we like to call it, because I can be touching you on your hand and you could feel it in your foot. It knows exactly where to go because we are all energy. The chairs we're sitting in, the lights, everything that's around us is energy. And so really it's just focused attention. Everybody has the capabilities of being a Reiki practitioner or doing Reiki on themselves. A lot of people will tell me, my knee was hurting, and so I just kind of put my hands on it and just felt the warmth of my hands, and it started to feel better. Well, it's the same type of thing. Everybody has that ability to tap into that energy. The Theta healing aspect is actually where limiting beliefs come into play. So if you have a limiting belief that is stopping you or keeping you stuck, I can actually do muscle testing on a physical level and find out where you may hold that belief, and then be able to go and tap into your subconscious through a theta brainwave. Just by myself being in a theta brainwave, I can put somebody else in a theta brainwave.
What does that mean?
The theta brainwave is the highest vibration of closest to a meditative state that you can get. And you can be fully conscious, you're fully aware of everything that's going on. It's just putting your brain into that wave to be so that you're more susceptible to understanding a new belief. And that's what works so well with my practice from doing the coaching. And then my niche, kind of, so to speak, is to do the healing on top of it, to kind of tap it in and ingrain it into your DNA in a matter of speaking, using energy.
Just an example, without obviously giving any personal information, what would be an example of a breakthrough in that theta healing, like an example of a limiting belief, and then what that might look like on the other end?
Yeah, so a lot of my clients will come into my office with a feeling of, or a belief of, that I'm not lovable. And then I can actually see, and by muscle testing, where that belief is being held in the body, or it could be energetically that you're holding that, and actually just kind of ask for it to be removed. It's kind of like taking a computer program, taking an old program out of the computer and putting in a new one. Our subconscious will only accept something that is for our highest and best good. So if I wanted you to cluck like a chicken, it wouldn't work, Yeah. But if you want to feel lovable and that feels like it's for your highest and best good, your subconscious will take that information. And so the other aspect of that is that once you start to change in your belief system, is that your whole life can change.
Sure.
Because going from a place of I'm not lovable to I am lovable can make all of your relationships in your life change. And so that makes a huge difference. And I know it did in my life. And I see it in my clients' lives as well.
That's incredible. When we met originally, you were talking about this, and I still don't really know, so I'm excited to learn more about it. Didn't even know it was an option of being a certified practitioner of this. What is the law of attraction?
The law of attraction is basically the study of energy, positive and negative energy. I am a firm believer of that we create our own lives by the choices that we make. And that is basically, the law of attraction is just kind of like the in thing that they kind of talk about. Okay. Some people refer to it as, it's a form of like Kabbalah. There's no religious aspects to it at all. It's just really feeling positive energy and how to positively manifest things in your life. And it kind of goes on the base of the thinking, like, if I think negatively, negative things will happen in my life. If I think positively, positive things will happen in my life. And so based on that knowledge of knowing, what's, the negative energy and what's the positive energy, is very easy to be able to, if you are a law of attraction practitioner, teach people, well, this is the language that you're using for yourself, so you are attracting things that you may not want so much. And to teach you how to kind of rephrase things so that it's more shining in a positive light or a positive vibration.
Awesome. I know we're going so quick through this stuff. I just get excited learning about all these ideas. Okay, to the next certified practitioner, Access bars?
Access bars.
Access bars, okay.
Yeah. There's 32 points on the head that hold and ingrain information. So access bars allows me to be able to touch those points on our head. And it's actually really cool because if you were to touch your head in these points, you would see and feel there's little indents. It's like our brain, our head was designed for this healing modality. And it's basically by a light touch, it releases the energy that's in that area and can allow healing from even past lives. I did a access bar session where I was actually transported into another time, which was amazing, a little scary, but amazing at the same time. And just to allow a lot of those limiting beliefs to be able to be removed on that level of things as well. You can definitely Google it, access bars practitioners. It's starting to grow and be very popular because it has phenomenal results.
So I'm just going to stop there because I know that was one that particularly I was like, I want someone to find these points on my head and, and release these things. That sounds so wonderful. Well, all these things that you're talking about, we're not done yet, is part of your services, and you are actually offering us today for the first person to call in, just before we get too far into the program, that you have something special you'd like to offer callers today. So I want you to share about that quick.
Yeah, the first caller that calls in that's interested in learning more about themselves, I am willing to give a free 30-minute either phone or in-office session.
Awesome. That's an amazing gift. 888-565-1470. So again, if you want to call in for a 30-minute free life... Oh my gosh, we're going to commercial break already. How did this happen so fast? We're not even halfway through all the amazing things you do. Okay, well, we're going to a quick commercial break. 888-565-1470. When we come back, if you're our first caller, free 30-minute life coaching with Jessica. You don't want to miss out on that. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Mom's fall was a wake-up call. We knew she needed help, but we also knew she'd never leave her home.
With jobs and kids, we can't always be there. We weren't sure who to trust to help around the house and make sure she takes her medications.
We did our research and found our answer. Bright Star Care. Their home care teams are led by registered nurses, with help available 24/7.
Thanks to Bright Star Care, Mom can stay where she wants to be, at home.
For a standard of care that raises the bar, call 844 for Bright Star.
The Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute is a professional music therapy practice serving medical, community, and educational settings throughout Southeast Florida. With our experienced team of 11 board-certified music therapists, we use music and research-based therapeutic interventions to help individuals of all ages and abilities reach their goals and increase their quality of life. For more information on our services and programs, please visit our website at pbmti.com. Engage with us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or call us at 561 747-9944. You are listening to Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections. If you'd like to join the conversation, the toll-free number is 888-565-1470. Now back to the show. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. You're listening to and watching Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections, where for 1 hour every week, we get a chance to talk to different healthcare and education professionals and caregivers who are shining a light on some real creative and exciting outside-of-the-box approaches to challenges or life transitions, as we're talking about today. We're talking about like a dozen different creative approaches to life's transitions and challenges with Miss Jessica Jansen, who is a certified life coach and a healing practitioner here locally in Palm Beach County. We've kind of just in summary of some of the things we've already talked about that her business does. Certified Theta Healer practitioner, certified Law of Attraction practitioner, certified Access Bars practitioner, and that's where I interrupted you to let everyone know that if you take the time to call in today, we have a really exciting offer for you, 888-565-1470. Our first caller is going to get a free 30-minute session, life coaching session with Jessica. So if you feel like that is something that might be interesting to you, you can call in and you can be anonymous if you like. You certainly don't need to share anything on the air, but we would like you to call in. Our first caller will be offered that amazing offer. So thank you again, Jessica, for being here today, for sharing about this. Again, we had met through TLC, this personal development course that was in Fort Lauderdale. Now just had the first course in West Palm Beach, which is awesome. And I actually don't know the answer to this. Is it anywhere else in the country? Are there other courses?
There's different versions of it that different facilitators have taken apart and created their own course. TLC is only offered here in South Florida. It is called the Living Course. There is a website if you want more information, which is thelivingcourse.org, where it gives some more information. There's a great video on there that kind of gives some more information as well. The theory that's taught is based on Dr. Alfred Adler in the course room, which is basically events of childhood create our belief system, and then we relive those belief systems in our adult life. And TLC just kind of helps uncover those, and you get to feel your feelings at 100% of anger, sadness, fear, and shame.
Yeah, that's a thing.
And then also, it's a complete and total feeling of unconditional love, which I think is just the bonus that everybody is willing to pay for, is the unconditional love. We all feel unconditional love from our friends or our spouses or our parents, but to actually be in a room of strangers and feel unconditional love in such a great safety is actually very priceless. And that's really what we focus on. And it also gives such a great community feeling. A lot of us can feel, I come from a feeling of abandonment and not good enough. And in that room, it allows me to really feel that unconditional love and has actually become my family. So I highly encourage anybody who's interested in making a huge change, because one weekend can change your life. And we get to do that with 26 people just every 6 weeks in Fort Lauderdale. And now we are growing, that we've actually established our courses in West Palm Beach, right near Palm Beach Gardens. So that's a great thing that we are growing, and this is how we get to change the world, is one person at a time or one course at a time.
And I know you mentioned the website, which I will ask you again for that, just in case anyone is listening, didn't get a chance to write it down. Is that the best place to visit if someone is interested in making a reservation or finding out the dates from it? Is there a phone number you would also recommend? Or?
Yeah, you can actually call me directly. And that phone number to reach me is 561-501-1877. Also, the website is thelivingcourse.org, and that's spelled out. And then you can look on the link of find out more, and then my name will pop up there as enrollment manager, and you can actually give me a call. I can answer any questions, give you information. It is a nonprofit organization. It is a 501c with the IRS. So we are able to give financial aid to those who qualify, which we want this to go to as many people as that we can. Because once we start to learn how to love ourselves and feel our feelings, that's what changes the world. So however we can do that, we want to make it happen.
And you will feel that so much in that room. I mean, I even got this morning, one of the students who was in my class called me from California just to check in, just to say, hey, I've missed you. It's been a couple of weeks. Wanted to see how you're doing. Logged into Facebook, onto our community there. Everybody's cheering on us being on the program together, reaching out. I mean, it is a family. It's a community. And it's pretty special, especially when we turn on the news and so many negative things are going on, to be in that space with 130 strangers. And to feel that unconditional love, it's pretty incredible. And I think one of the biggest things I took out of it too was not having any clue what to expect or what I would leave from, is that yes, it does change your life, but it's not changed because you went that weekend and something happened to you. It's because, like you said earlier, you have this greater understanding, and now you know it is up to you.
Yeah,
it's up to you to make decisions every day to change your own life. Which I just thought was so powerful. And we could go, again, into this for several more hours, but hopefully it's enough of a teaser to get some people interested to give you a call and find out more information about TLC, in addition to all the cool things that you are doing with your business. And the name of your business?
In Healing, Happiness, and Coaching.
Oh, love it. And do you have a website for your business?
Yes, it is inhappinesshealing.com.
Okay, great. And Facebook page?
Yep, in Happiness, Healing, and Coaching.
There you go. Perfect. And you are located in?
I'm located in East Boca Raton, near Federal and Spanish River.
Okay.
I'm located in the Yoga Aura building. So it's a brand new office. I'm very excited. We just opened there yesterday. I first started seeing clients there. So brand new space. Feeling great energy in it and can't wait to expand. So if anybody's interested, you can also schedule an appointment right online through my Facebook page.
That's awesome. Do people have to be local? Can they call in or Skype in as well?
Yes, I will. All of my services that I do provide can be done by phone or by Skype, except for the access bars. Sure. That does have to be hands-on. Other than that, everything is available, either half-hour or hour sessions.
Very cool. Okay, again, in review, certified Theta Healer practitioner. If you missed all this, everything's going to be archived on our website at pbmti.com. We'll also post links to the video on our Facebook page, Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute, because there's a lot to catch up on. We're not going to be able to go back through it, so do catch that later on after our show has been archived. Certified Law of Attraction practitioner, certified Access Bars practitioner. You talked a little bit about Reiki practitioner and what kind of, I love that you were brought to that for yourself. Mm-hmm. And then once that was felt and received, and then you were kind of able to, and obviously Reiki you would not be able to do over the phone.
No, you can.
Oh, I am wrong.
Yes.
Okay.
It's all energy. So energy there is no time or space in energy. So it can literally be felt. I've done several sessions over the phone in another state. So definitely you do not have to be hands-on with Reiki or Theta Healing.
There we go.
Yeah.
I learned something new today.
Yeah.
And a certified life coach. So you were sharing that it was kind of came out of this, you were giving all this advice to your friends and thought, oh, I'm giving all this away for free here, you know? What does that look like to become a certified life coach?
Well, there's lots of different studies out there where you can become a certified life coach. I picked one that was very residential, that resonated with me. And I did the studying and realized that it went hand in hand with a lot of the law of attraction things that I was already studying. And so then I just decided to get my certification to be able to teach and give advice to others. And using my healing modalities, I would find that a lot of people would ask me questions. things in when I was doing Reiki on them, like, oh, I've been going through this. And so then I found that I was giving them advice or telling them to do TLC or whatever. So then I decided to get my certificate in being a life coach as well. One of the main reasons why I wanted to be a life coach is because I wanted to help people like me. And when I was going through a rough time, I knew something was wrong. I don't want to say wrong, but something just didn't fit.
Right.
I felt stuck in my life. And I didn't really think therapy was the answer because there was this stigmatism of that if you go to therapy, you're broken, which is not true at all. That's just another limiting belief, of course. And so it just kind of takes the pressure off than somebody going to a therapist. It allows them a little bit more comfort and safety of, maybe I'll try a life coach. And then I have a wide range of therapists and social workers and mental health workers that I work with.
Beautiful.
So that if somebody does come into my office and needs that type of work, I have a wide variety of people that I can refer them to.
That's wonderful.
So it just kind of gives them an opportunity to start working on themselves.
Sure.
And if they do need something more than I can provide, I do have a network to be able to provide that as well.
That's perfect. And I think there's such a truth to that of that might be on the other end what would be very helpful, but you can be part of that, journey for them to guide them. I think that's wonderful. And because of the sensitive nature of things that we're talking about, we're going to roll over, if it's okay with you, this offer for a free 30-minute session. If it's not always a comfortable thing to call in or on Facebook attached to your name. If you want a private message on our Facebook page at Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute, is that all right with you?
Yes,
we'll
absolutely.
count that as well because I do want to respect the privacy on that and just encourage anyone who is listening today, like you said earlier, if you're listening to this and something is sparking an interest in making a change in your life, there's just so many opportunities here, and from that, you've created such a network of people in the community and beyond to help out. I think that's wonderful. What would be your biggest advice if someone is listening tonight and they, something is, I don't know if I'm really ready to commit to a life coach or a therapist or TLC, but I'm interested. What would be your advice?
First and foremost is meditate for at least 15 minutes every day. There's guided meditations out there. Just an opportunity for you to clear your head and relax. 15 minutes is huge for most people. I always recommend doing something for yourself at least once a week, providing yourself some self-care and self-love. Two books that I recommend for people wanting to get started is Radical Forgiveness and The 4 Agreements.
Radical Forgiveness and the 4 Agreements. I love it. Reading was definitely a big part of my journey of kind of helping me along my way. So I really appreciate that. Yeah. Jessica, thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're busy. You just moved into a new building, just opened your doors. Congratulations to you. Thank you. I wish you so much success and happiness. Just so glad you're in my life. Jessica Jansen from In Happiness Healing and Coaching. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We will see you next week. Have a wonderful week. Thank you for listening to Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections. We hope you enjoyed today's program and discovered new ways to bring music, art, and dance into your home or workplace. Please find a copy of today's show at pbmti.com. If you have any questions for our guest or myself, please email me at Bree, that's Bree, at pbmti.com, or call the Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute at 561-747-9944. Tune back in next week for an all-new live show. See you then.
The opinions expressed on the preceding